good day, sports fans across the nation. You are watching Balls of Fire on P&B TV. I'm your host, Tom, and we have a packed 55 minutes of football fever coming your way. Joining me on the desk today to break it all down is my boss and my Oga at the top, Abel Sunday. Good morning.
It's afternoon, actually.
Good afternoon.
Studio look like morning, right?
You know, it's so cool.
Yeah, inside the studio.
And it's refreshing.
That's why you lost track of time.
Exactly.
But when you go outside, you face the reality, right?
Yes. You know, we've been busy all day, and it has been.
You have been busy all day.
Yes. And I hope you are doing well.
Definitely, I am.
Fantastic. So let's get right into it. Today's lineup is massive. You know, first we hit the home front with the NPFL. We are analyzing the clashes between El Kanemi and Abia Warriors plus Kwara United against Wiki Tourist. We'll also preview tomorrow's big showdown, Nasarawa United versus Enugu Rangers. Later, we cross over to Europe for an EPL pre-match masterclass, looking at Liverpool versus West Ham, Leeds versus Man City, and more. And finally, the big stage, the UEFA Champions League playoff. We're dissecting Madrid versus Benfica and Juventus versus Galatasaray. So we've got the experts in the building, Nasarawa United media officer Eche Amos and Lagos top analyst Oba. So don't go anywhere. And Balls on Fire on P&B TV. We'll be right back. So, welcome back to Balls of Fire on P&B TV. So let's get straight into it. To give us some insight on what is happening in the NPFL and the fixtures we have. You know, we have Nasarawa United, we have Wiki Tourist, we have a loaded matchup from today and tomorrow for the weekend. And our first guest here is Oba, a sports journalist from Lagos State, an astute football fan. The man that when he talks football, the whole room keeps quiet. And they say, you know what? We have to listen to what this man has to say because he knows what he is saying. Oba, good afternoon and welcome to Balls of Fire on P&B TV.
Good afternoon, Tom. I don't give you any money when they sing my praise like this.
We can't hear you, Oba.
Can you hear me now? I don't give you any money when you give me all this and put me also.
Okay, well, I think we're having a little bit of technical glitch, so we'll go on a short break. And when we come back, we are going to continue on Balls of Fire on P&B TV. Okay, so welcome back to Balls of Fire on P&B TV. How are you doing, my Oga at the top?
Very well. Good afternoon. Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can.
Oba, good afternoon. How is it back on this afternoon?
It's doing bad. Please, I want you to give Tom on my behalf. That he gives me those plenty of
you know, we don't need once you hear the name Oba in Lagos, once you hear the name Oba in Nigeria, everybody knows who you are. One of the biggest sports journalists coming out from Lagos. So let's get right into it. In the NPFL.
Let's get into the Nigeria Football League, which is where you want us to start from.
Yes.
Well, there are lots of games to be played in the NPFL. First, the news in NPFL this weekend is that Remo Stars now have a new technical advisor in one of the coaches in NPFL that seems to understand when it comes to having CV. Is one of the coaches with the loudest CV when it comes to going for coaching courses and improving himself. It's not a UEFA license A that's talking about Usman Abdallah.
Okay.
The issue is this that I keep having with most of the Nigerian Premier League team is we rarely get information. The only information we have back is that Usman Abdallah has been appointed as technical advisor. What happened to Daniel already? Did he resign? Did they sack him? Did they push him forward to something else? Nobody knows. And nothing comes into circulation about what happened to Mubadede, which has been our issues crying for right information to be passed across. No information.
Okay.
But all that being said, this weekend, the Rebel Stars will be in Benin. That's where they have been playing their games. I haven't been moved away from their regular stadium after it's been on renovation. They now play in Abeokuta, where they had some fans issue. Or they will be playing this weekend in Benin. I think this is the last game before they eventually return back to Ikene. One of the games to be looking forward to this weekend will be Shooting Star Football Club of Ibadan playing against Kano Pillars. They've also returned back to Ibadan from Abeokuta. They have returned back to Ibadan. They now sit comfortably in Ibadan. Now the table is one way or the other shaping up. They have played 2 out of their 3 outstanding games. Talking about Rivers United, they managed 4 points from possible 6 points. That's enough. That's a good one for them. But as far as the NPFL is concerned, the battle is not about the top or the mid-table. The battle is about the drop zone, where you have the likes of Remo Stars, Kwara United, Kun Khalifa, Kano Pillars, even Eyimba of Aba and Barrow FC. Those are the people struggling for the bottom of the table. Of course, at the end of the season, 4 must drop down.
Okay, fantastic. You know, this is why we like having you on the program. But also joining us is Mr. Eche Amos, the media manager of Nasarawa United, and is also the president of the NPFL Media Directors Forum. Amos, good morning. And we'd love for you to rearrange your camera. We don't like the position of it.
I think it's somehow like you have to turn it. Yeah, better.
Yes, fantastic. Good morning. How are you doing, Mr. Eche Amos?
I'm doing very, very fine. Good afternoon. How are you doing too?
Good afternoon. We are good. Fantastic. I think let's get right into it. We have El Kanemi Warriors versus Abia Warriors. We've seen the El Kanemi Warriors. They are 9th on the table with about 38 points, and they face a very, very high-flying Abia Warriors, who sit about 5th point with about 43 points. We've seen Abia Warriors, they entered their last game by winning it against Kwara United 1-0, while the Kanemi Warriors, lost to Kano Pillars with a 3-0 defeat. What do you think about their performance so far, and how do you see this matchup against the Kanemi Warriors and Abia Warriors panning out?
This is not like a good match, because both of them are having the critics, or rather the soft from their warriors. They are both warriors. One is from the north, the other one is from the south. We've met before. Remember, to the final of the epic of where eventually Academy Warriors defeated the Abia Warriors. That's why leading to the final. What is it talking about these two? They are a very formidable side, but somebody must pass way on another person. Somebody has to show the superiority of how they assume or they arrived at the name warrior. The Borno Empire or the Kamen Empire has been there in Borno, to be very precise, which is the headquarters. And they've been known to the warriors all along for centuries before now. The Abia Warriors were thinking about how do they have been manifested in the early 2000s, because they were first, it was called the Enimba before Abia Warriors. So with the situation of Grant, it's certainly going to be a tough game. It's going to be a tough game. Please not call. It's going to be a tough game. Give it yours. So sorry. It's going to be a really tough game. But as it stands today, Abia Warriors seems to be the better side in terms of organization, because he's could very left Academy Warriors. It's not been easy for them. It's actually not been easy for them. It's been very, very tough for them. So things are actually working.
So indeed. Indeed. So I think this is going to be a big matchup between Coach Zubairu and also Coach Imama Akpakabo, who also won the league with Rangers as well. So it's a fantastic one. But it seems like my Oga at the top has some things to say.
Okay, Mr. Amos, I wanted to know, Nasarawa United and Rangers, Enugu Rangers, they're sharing the sample 44-44. I think goal difference, that's what is even sharing you guys. One is the third, while the other on fourth, respectively. But having the opportunity to play each other tomorrow and going away at Enugu to play that game, do you think that's the mountain to climb tomorrow and is a must win for Nasarawa United? Well, I just want you to share a little bit of that for us today.
The Warriors have won the league, I think, and then Nasarawa United have never won the league. The Rangers equally placed in the final of the last appearance in the final of the Epic Cup also ended somehow not as they expected. But that is history, which has nothing to do with what football is all about today. Nasarawa United has won a couple of matches away from home. We won against Bayelsa United. That against Benjamin, and we picked a draw against Wiki Torres. We did that against Kun Khalifa, and we have equally had a draw against United. So this season we've had some couple of wins, a couple of draws on the road. The Enugu Rangers are not a different side entirely. They are doing well. We are on the same point, just like you said. First leg that was played in last year here, we won the game. And this is the return leg. We do know how difficult it is to play at the cathedral. But the coach is somebody who understands the philosophy of Rangers because he has been there before. So it's not like homecoming for him. He was also a former coach of the United who for the very first time in the history of Nasarawa United to pick a draw on the road in June. That never happened in the history because since Amamutu Boas came on board, the areas where he was so used to, including Wiki Torres, including the United, he had 6 points, 2 points against those teams he had coached before. Now he's going back to the where he left to join the United before coming to join us in Nasarawa United. So it's going to be a pretty difficult game in Charlie. So both teams are high continental clubs. Not really to win the league, they're high continental clubs, and Nasarawa United cannot take their leg off the gas as it stands today. If we actually want to compete among the best, then we have to be prepared to be at the right position.
Okay, perfect.
I'll come. Oba will come back to you.
Hold on, Oba. I will come back to you, Oba. Hold on a little. Let me ask you this before I will get back to Oba. Amos, looking at Remo Star languishing at the bottom of the table, which are the current champion of this NPFL, does that send a message to everybody in this league?
It does send a message. That is to say that nobody is indispensable. No team is unbeatable. No team cannot suffer a state. The league is a marathon, understandable, but not also forget that it's a highly competitive environment. For the defending champions to be where they are today, a lot of factors have played out. Number one, a lot of the players left the team. Number two, they did not actually make recruitment that measured up to the number of players that left, maybe the quality of players that left. They never made such recruitment. At the point in time, they only had the technical issue from the coaching perspective, Daniel Ogumomoke and the others. I think at the point in time, we were told he left the team. Another time, we were told that no, he would be requested to come back, that he went on a coaching course and others. So all of those things played out. Psychologically, it affected the team. Then, the ones that affected them could not play their home matches at home. The Remo Star Stadium at the Ogun State. They didn't play a lot of their matches, and you know how it feels like. And that is what is actually the bane of Nigerian representation competition. When you are not playing on a terrain that you are used, certainly you're going to have difficulty. There is a level people can support you once you are not a league, once you are not the home person, once you are not from that league. There is a level they can go for you. They can go for you based on what you are able to offer them. But once you are using your traditional home ground, the home people will be there, you will find the space as traditional fans and supporters, they will put the extra mile to make sure that they are here for you. So, Remo Stars, I'm glad I just saw some information across the social media that they've been giving the disciplinary or legal approval for the use of their stadium. Remember, Stars are facing the same problem too. don't know how effective it will be for them to use their own brand anymore. A lot of the teams in the league are using makeshift venue, and this certainly will affect them. But I'm happy that they're coming. I'm certainly going to tell you that nobody remains the champions forever. If you win it today, you're going to have a problem. Enugu already have won the league in the 2021, 2020 season, something of that nature. If I'm not mistaken. And guess what happened? It's difficult for them to even recover to maintain that status. After you said they won the league in 2020-2021 league season, they went to relegation about 2 seasons later. And their language is struggling to over. Notice that won the league before that period. Look at where they are now. So it's always like that. Once you are at the top, everybody under you will be fighting to climb over you and to make sure that they are equally there. Yours is to make sure that you maintain that position. There is this particular mentality in Nigeria. This is a momentary satisfaction and the feeling that you have already arrived. Look at how Ghana Messi did. He won the world best player almost 8 times. If you are an African player after winning the world, he begins to brag about it. He doesn't want to portray himself to prepare himself. Many people that there are people who will be showing to overtake him. So he has kept a record that a lot of players take many decades for anybody to actualize what they have been able to achieve in football. So in Nigeria, so I equally want to emphasize that clubs that have won the league, you can win the league back to back. We've seen them happen in the English Premier League, Manchester City, then Manchester United, we have Chelsea, then we have Liverpool and others.
Okay.
So I don't know if it's a really terrible moment. So,
Okay. Indeed. Indeed. Let's bring it back to the Rangers and the Nasarawa side. You know, we are seeing Nasarawa sitting at 4th and Rangers sitting at 3rd. Oba, please just hold on a little bit. We'll come back to you. We can see Nasarawa sitting at 4th and we can see Rangers sitting at 3rd, and they are tied on points, 44 points. You know, in their previous meeting this season, I think Nasarawa United won the Rangers 2-1 in Lafayette with goals from Amos, with Anas Yusuf and John Joshua. What tactics is Coach Magnut, going to employ against a team like Rangers in the match today?
Well, as for the tactics, I'm not a technical person. I need that coaches to clarify what tactics we wish to use, because telling you what tactics are going to use, like unleashing the 1.1 is against your enemy, and then you have already lost the game even before the whistle is blown. The technical department knows exactly what to do to get results. But as it stands today, the coach will always tell the press and those who matter that it's one game at a time. As it comes, we approach the way it comes. But whichever way, the mentality is always one, to make sure that whether we win the league or we get the continental spot. That is all.
Okay, fantastic. And it seems like if Nasarawa United can win the Rangers today, it will be pushing them on to the CAF championship. And it's going to be fantastic moving forward for both sides. Oba, it seems like you had something to say. Please enlighten us, because it seems like you are the deity of Lagos journalism in sports.
It's not just Lagos, it's Southwest. So
Okay, first and foremost, I'd like to say big good afternoon to Mr. Etienne. It's good to have you join us on the show this afternoon. Second of all is the fact that I'd like to commend Nasarawa United for what they have done. Last season, they had the former under-23 coach who came on board last season, second half of last season, and he was able to help them stay in the league. I did make mention of that. But looking at how they have been steady and that they didn't go to relegation last season, they came this season firing on all cylinders in the first stanza. We thought that they were going to be on top of the league for a long period of time. Now, it got to the point that they were challenging for the league title, but they fizzled out a little bit recently. Now, they go to the Cathedral later on today to play against who? Against Nasarawa tomorrow. They play Enugu Rangers. Mind you, Enugu Rangers have not been doing very well almost since the beginning of the second stanza, as a result of the fact that their coach, Fidelis Ilichukwu, was on national assignment. Now, since their coach got back from national assignment. Look at the trajectory of Enugu Rangers. They have moved periodically from 6th to 2nd. If not for Rivers that have outstanding that made them to drop a bit, they are currently sit third on the log of the table. That is leapfrogging. Now, you made mention of El Kanemi Warriors, Abia Warriors. That's another game I want to quickly talk about. It's a battle of warriors. But mind you, El Kanemi Warriors have not lost at home this season. They are one of the teams that have not lost at home. So that their home has been a huge fortress. For Imama and Makakabo, it's a good sign. They went to the Continental last season by virtue of the fact that they won the CAF, the IQ Cup, the President Federation Cup. It's a fantastic one for me.
Okay.
Believe me, they came third. They came third and they qualified for the CAF Confederations Cup last season. But they have not been doing well. Let's be realistic with ourselves. Even on the road, in the last 3 games on the road, they have not had a very formidable. The last time on the road, they picked up a 1-1 draw, which was not a good one for me. Those are the few ones I can remember from what Mr. Chase said, and I like to respond.
Talking about sides that are not doing too well, we have 2 teams that are going to be playing for their survival, and we have that's Kwara United versus the Wiki Tourists, and the match is going to be at the MKO Abiola Stadium in Abeokuta. And it seems like this is a classic relegation side that needs to just get their points up. We can see Kwara United, they have their 20th position, and while the host Wiki Tourists at 15th position. What does Kwara United have to do to salvage the problem they are in right now?
Problem number 1, like Mr. Chase said, they have been taken away from their fortress, which is the Rashidi Yakini Stadium in Ilorin. They will no longer play any game there. Mind you, Mr. Chip talked about shooting. Shooting Star have been asked by the league body to return back to Ibadan. So they will be hosting Kano Pillars this tomorrow in Ibadan, not in Abeokuta. But for Kwara United, well, it is what it is, got to find themselves swimming in relegation water at this point in time. But how can they actually dig themselves out? It needs a whole lot of determination from the squad. For the past 3 months, it has been Kun Khalifa that has been rooted to the bottom of the table. They are out at the moment. It is between Kwara and Remo. Now, Kwara they call Wiki Tourists. That's another side that is struggling also on the road. But being struggling on the road does not mean that you can't get the point. You can get maximum 3 points on the road. But can Kwara United express what they used to express in Ilorin, in Abeokuta? It is not far from each other, but you need to find out that if as a result of Rivers United not playing that home, that was why they had a scandalous campaign at the CAF Champions League. No, the team was not just good enough. So we need to look at Kwara United. Are they good enough for the league? Or are they looking like they might drop
a team that has lost 16 games this season, which obviously is the worst in the league probably this season, and a Wiki Tourist side also that has struggled with their defense. And we just hope that one side, can use this match, to salvage them from the problem that they are in right now. Once again, thank you to Mr. Eche Amos, the Nasarawa State, media officer for the Nasarawa United, and also the president of the Nigeria Premier Football League Media Directors Forum. Thank you once again. All right, now we're going to go on a short break, and when we come back, we're going to be moving to the EPL. What should we expect from the English Premier League, the most watched league in the world? So don't go anywhere, because Balls of Fire on PMB TV. We'll be right back. Okay, so welcome back to Balls of Fire on P&B TV. It seems like in the English Premier League, there's going to be an heavyweight contest where the title, contenders are going to be pushing for more in their ambitions. We are going to be having Bournemouth, playing a team like Sunderland, Burnley also playing Brentford, Liverpool playing West Ham United, Newcastle United playing Everton, Leeds also playing Manchester City, and other teams will be playing as well. So it seems like we are going to be having the contenders for the European ambition and European sports playing. Let's start with a team like Liverpool. What do you think about Liverpool's performance, Abel? Because I know that you are one of those people that has bashed Liverpool for not passing Manchester United on the table.
No, not really. But I think
you're being humble now.
No, of course. I'm not even an EPL fan. I'm just a Super Eagles fan. I don't have any team in the EPL. I just want to watch good football. But to be honest, I think Liverpool, compared to what happened the first part of the season, I think now they begin to pick up a little bit, because at least 1 or 2 points. Before now they were woeful, but now at least they will struggle. They can manage to get a result. So I think they could do that over. They could try to salvage a result today against all odds. But I think where we should be looking at is Chelsea. I think that should be tomorrow. Chelsea, Arsenal. That should be tomorrow. Then Manchester United should be very, very well, because I think they have a chance to give a whole lot of gap now. If they can just do it against Crystal Palace, I think they can have a breather, because it's very possible that Chelsea will drop points. So the possibility that Chelsea will be going to be more. So it's very, very possible that Chelsea will break points. Then again, Manchester City, looking at them and trying to see how they could catch Arsenal. It will be very, very interesting to see what will happen today.
Okay, fantastic. But in your own opinion, do you think that a Chelsea side can beat an Arsenal side?
It's possible. It's football. It's possible. On paper, Arsenal has the whole, but mostly, sometimes you seeing it on paper and what happened on the pitch, they are two different things entirely. So on paper, you might say, Arsenal would demolish Chelsea, but when you're gonna just if you recall the World Club Championship finals, you saw what happened between PSG and Chelsea. Everybody gave PSG that game, but what happened? It was a different ball game.
Yes,
so it's possible that Chelsea can just cause an upset.
It seems like Oba has something to say about the Chelsea-Arsenal matchup. What do you think about this matchup? Do you think that a Chelsea side can actually win an Arsenal side that needs to, increase their gap against Manchester City, as Manchester City are breathing below them, and also a Chelsea side that has to keep close proximity or either try to pass the Manchester United side? What do you think, Oba?
Well, it's a tricky fixture in the English Premier League for this beautiful weekend. We have the game at Elland Road first, which is Leeds United taking on Manchester City. City are well determined to see if they can cause an upset in winning all their games prior to the time that they take on Arsenal at the Etihad Stadium. On the other hand, the Gunners have put themselves in this situation that they often put themselves almost every time, that they have to be open on others to drop points so that they can have a breather. They once had breather, but the games you least expected them to win, those are the games that they were dropping points. But coming to the game at the Emirates Stadium, well, it has always been an easy road for Arsenal at the Emirates Stadium, especially against Chelsea. In the last fight, Chelsea has not defeated Arsenal, most especially at the Emirates Stadium. So tomorrow I'm giving it to an Arsenal, maybe because of the fact that I've got this soft spot for Arsenal, hoping and praying fervently that I could perhaps maybe just nick the league this time around.
Okay, you're among the people that want Arsenal to win this season, right? Oba, you're among the people that want Arsenal to win this season.
I think it's well deserved. I think if there's something that we know about Arsenal is that when it comes to January, they always make mistakes. But it seems like they've been able to pass the January hurdle, especially with having the team with the highest.
They've not. If you remember 2 or 3 seasons ago, they were leading with 8 points even after January. I think 5 games to go. They dropped that point. Man City won that league. So now they're just 2 points. So you are saying they passed January.
But it's not the same team. This is a team that arguably have the highest depth. I think
yes, I share some sentiment with Oba. I hope and I pray Arteta is able to give them that Premier League, because most of their fans now, yes. I've never tweeted that, oh, Arsenal won Premier League. Most of them that are 20-something, because the last time Arsenal won the Premier League is about 20-something years ago. So most of their fans, the Gen Zs, if I would put it that way, they've never seen the Premier League in Emirates.
They've never seen that title in Emirates.
Yes.
But talking about the contest, for the EPL, we are going to be seeing a Manchester City side playing Leeds. Manchester City they are going to be on road, and they are going to be heading to Elland Road, seeking their 6th consecutive win to keep pressure on Arsenal. And Leeds, obviously, they are 15th, with 31 points, and they are being called the Giant Killers this season, because they've actually secured a win against Chelsea and also Aston Villa. Do you think that the same way they've been able to secure a win against a team like Chelsea, and obviously Aston Villa that is sitting third on the English Premier League table, that they are going to be able to create an upset, when it comes to a team like Manchester City?
Yeah, they've got an opportunity to want to do that for themselves. Unai Emery is not a pushover coach. I often say that many a times. But let's take a look at the fact that they are also in the round of 16 of the Europa League. That's more or less like a distraction. Of all the people that are in top 4 looking for means to qualify for next season European football, the only one that I feel that it's a bit safe, not having too much on its mind, is Manchester United, who have only games over the weekend. Every other team are either involved in one League Cup final or the FA Cup or even the European competition. So it's more or less like a distraction. Another way around to look at it is it's more or less a boost for them. A win in a particular competition can propel you to success in another. So I see Aston Villa as a team that they can hold on to their own. Now, determining on what they play is what is going to form the basis of their fixture in the Europa League as well. Because what matters to them is either through Europa League or through the league round, they needs to find a way to be back in the Champions League next season. Which is no Champions League football, it will push a whole lot of the players away.
Okay, fantastic. Abel, I think we are seeing a Pep Guardiola side that he didn't, he has not been really consistent, but it seems like this might be his 6th consecutive win, and he's obviously handling a almost fit side, despite the fact that Gravdiol, is out on injury, but to also have Phil Foden, who also scored on the reverse fixtures as well. What do you think about this performance, especially on players like Nico O'Reilly, players that have stepped up even when Haaland was not able to step up in some cases?
If we want to be honest with ourselves, we'll say first half of the season, Manchester City were fumbling. Second half of the season, they've picked form. They meant business. If you see what they're doing now, they've been able to put up results together, scramble results together, see their players are stocked up, they press now, they defend very well. So you cannot take that away from Manchester City. And considering the fact that they're in the finals already for the for the League Cup, they're in the finals, a win in that finals will propel them to even do better in the league, because if you recall, they are playing Arsenal at the finals. So I'm still looking at it that finals, that League Cup final might be a defining factor for who is going to win the league, because you win or lose might help you positively in the league. And looking at how Arsenal is playing now, I think they are much under pressure. They are under pressure now. Seeing Man City breathing down behind their ass, they are very, very scared. There's no two ways about it, and that's why you see how. You remember we were watching a game, the game Manchester United versus Arsenal, and you said that these guys will eat Manchester United, and I said, well, Manchester United don't have anything to lose. Arsenal have a whole lot to lose.
No, please don't say that. I will never tell you that an Arsenal side will beat a Manchester United side.
You see,
I am no.
Okay.
Everybody knows.
Now you are trying to.
Everybody knows that.
But
Everybody
that
knows.
was discussion we had.
Everybody knows.
Behind closed doors.
Everybody knows.
That was discussion we had behind closed doors.
Please bring your evidence. Well, right now we're going to move into the UEFA Champions League. We're going to be talking about the fixtures that we have over the week, and also moving on to the round of 16 fixtures and what to expect moving forward. Now, talking about a team like Real Madrid that played Benfica, prior to that match, there were a lot of issues, surrounding that match. But in your own opinion, what do you think about this, especially after we've seen a Real Madrid side that has advanced to the round of 16 after a professional 2-1 victory at the Santiago Bernabeu Stadium on Wednesday?
Well, okay. Oba, you want to go first?
You told you are the boss. Let me allow you.
No, Oba, when it comes to sports, you are the boss.
Okay, let me say the few things I have to say, because I know you have a lot to say, right? Let me say the few things, then I'll leave the stage for you. Oba, is that okay by you?
No problem, sir.
Oh, okay, thank you so much, Oba. So, the question you just asked now, I think that game, Real Madrid wasn't fantastic, to be honest, but they know how to get results. And remember, before now, we made an pre-match analysis on that game. We said the team that have the most mentality for big games will pick that game, and that is exactly what happened. They went away, they won that game 1-0. They came back 2-1. Simple. 3-1 aggregate, they won the game. Do you get?
Yes.
And now, going forward, the absence of Jose Mourinho was also an impact, though Benfica played as if Mourinho was not even absent at all, because the way they came out, they meant business. They knew they were going to meet in a face rather in Bernabeu, but they actually prepared and they were equal to the task. They scored first before Real Madrid came back and grew into the game.
I think it's something to take note of before we get to Oba is the fact that obviously, I think Vinicius Junior, he actually did what he was supposed to do.
Yeah, I was coming to
getting the goal.
That was a perfect response for me, despite because of the controversy, the racial incident at the first leg. Coming back and he responded. Same dance, he went and he gave the same thing. So he responded perfectly. And I think I'm so happy for him that he did not allow that to weigh him down. If you see him that first leg, he was crying himself. He could not even grant press conference. He was crying. But coming back to respond, that it shows that he put that away. But let me
we've seen a Benfica side that played without Mourinho. They played without Pestiani because of the racial slurs allegation. How do you think the Benfica performed against a Real Madrid side that seemed like they had a lot to prove and seemed like they had a player who needed to prove something, a player like Vinicius Junior?
Madrid were no better. So Benfica were way better than them in that game. Benfica had opportunities to win the game. But the only difference is the mentality. The only difference is the experience, which in recent years, Madrid has suddenly formed a formidable team that knows how to play the UEFA Champions League more than anybody. There were some seasons during the time that Madrid did the three-peat, when they won the UEFA Champions League 3 times in a row. During that period, Madrid were woeful in the league. But trust me, when it comes to Champions League, you see them, they step up, they play effectively and always gallant whenever it comes to the UEFA Champions League. Mind you, one thing you should know about Real Madrid is that in that game against Benfica, there was no Kylian Mbappe. But for the game against City, Mbappe would be back. Mbappe is expected to be out for just about 10 days or thereabout. Mbappe is expected to be back. Some of their injured players are also expected to be back as well. So they also would definitely have a couple of their players back from injury. Now, looking at the UEFA Champions League draw, well, it's a whole lot. I'm not saying. One side seems to be more... Before
Oba, I know that you are in a hurry to give your own analysis, because obviously I know that you have a side that you want to favor. But before we come to that, there is a team that we need to talk about. You know, there's a particular match that we need to talk about, which is the Juventus Galatasaray match. What do you think about that match? Because I think this is one of the most chaotic ties. We saw a Juventus side come back, you know, to bring a tie, you know, on the aggregate, with scoring I think scoring about 3-0 in the first half. Then Galatasaray came back, and you know, they said, you know what, I'm going to give you 2 goals. Fiam. The goals kept flying, especially when you see a performance from the man of the match, who has been scoring in his last 26 qualifying matches in the person of our own Victor Osimhen. What do you think about that performance from the Galatasaray side? And what do you think Juventus has to change if they need to continue playing winning football?
Okay, it was almost becoming a mess for the Italian team. Almost all of them, after the game, have shocked everybody to move Inter away. Then Atalanta was losing 2-0 in the first leg. That one, they surprised me. Pushed Borussia Dortmund away. Now, coming to the Juventus game, I watched the game full 90 minutes, about 120 minutes to be precise. There was only one error that Galatasaray were performing. With 10 players to Juventus, Galatasaray could not hold on to their own, and there was no supply to Victor Osimhen up front in the 90 minutes of regulation time. There was no supply. They were allowing Juve to take the game to them, and Juventus got the 3 goals that was needed to take the game to extra time. Only for Victor Osimhen, the major one pass that came to him, he got the goal in the first half extra time before they sealed it in the second half through Yilmaz to make sure that they qualify. Now, in his post-match interview, Osimhen said they are avoiding Liverpool. But they've gotten Liverpool at this point in time, and that's the person they are playing. Going forward, if they need, someone made a statement this morning where I was, that Galatasaray is not a UEFA Champions League team. They are not a team strong enough to play the UEFA Champions League.
You know, Oba, you know, in how many years, in how many seasons, they have not qualified to the round of 16. So when people actually say that they are not a UEFA Champions League side, I think they have a point there. But I think when there's something that we have to say, when you have a player like Victor Osimhen, what do you expect? But I'm going to bring that over to you, Abel. Abel, you know, you spoke about Victor Osimhen after that match. We had a discussion. What do you think about Victor Osimhen's performance in against Juve?
Well, Victor Osimhen, you know, anytime he plays, you cannot take that away from him. The zeal, the passion that he puts everything inside every game he plays. Even when you see him play for the Super Eagles, the same thing. Even when nobody is even out there, you see that he's still pushing. I remember after the game, he made during the interview, he said something. He said that when they got to Turin, he told his teammates that this is not a place you just come and you just need to come up and fight. It's not a place you just come and you just romance and you go. No. They came, you need to come around, and because it's a very tough place, it's a hostile place, everybody knows. So, but talking to them sometimes, they do not feel that, but he just said, what will I do? Some listen, some don't listen, but they need to fight. But he still blamed his team that despite they won, Juventus deserved the win. Because they were lucky, to be honest. It was even one man down, they took them to extra time, 1 man that they scored 3 goals. Juventus were 10 men. They scored 3 goals. And I think what even happened in that extra time for them to get that 2 goals, I'm talking about Galatasaray, it was because of the fatigue. They are tired. The Juve guys were tired already. So that was like, when coming back to Victor Osimhen is somebody that will give you 100% at all points. You saw what he did going down. Even the ball, he was not even getting supplies like that. That was the first time he got a very clear supply of ball, and he nailed it. So I think Victor Osimhen is any day, anytime one of the. But if not for, and I'll still say this again, if not because Victor Osimhen is an African, let me not say black, he's an African, he would have been in the conversation of either Ballon d'Or or first best 3 strikers in the world. Okay. Should be there.
Over to you, Oba. You know, you said something about Galatasaray. You know, not being a champ. Some people argue that they are not a Champions League side, and I think when you see a Galatasaray that in their last 3 matches they've lost 2, and it just seems like that when they win, they overwin, and it just helps them in the aggregate. do you think that the Galatasaray side will be able to give a little disturbance to a Liverpool side on the 10th of March?
No, I disagree. They won't be able. Because the Liverpool side is a side that's not also doing great. They're also just waking up and just getting back into what Liverpool used to be. But notwithstanding, both of them have played together in the group stage of this season's Champions League, in which Galatasaray, through Victor Osimhen, sports key, won the game by a goal to nil. Victor also said that it looked more or less like a revenge. But the group of players that I saw against Juve, do they have the mentality and the technical know-how to defeat a Liverpool? Well, on the 10th of March, first leg will be in Gala's home. It will be what we are looking forward to. But to Gala have what it takes to progress to the quarterfinal, the answer is a no for me.
Okay, fantastic. And Abel, we have a side like PSG, a side that obviously was dominant, last season, but it seems like they've been having issues in the dressing room. They've been having issues with injuries. It seems like this season is not the French side season. What do you think? They're going to be playing Chelsea, the side that has been struggling in the EPL as well. Who do you think is going to take that match and why?
Well, there's one thing about coming for a revenge mission, because Chelsea snatched away that World Cup title from them, Club World Cup title from them, and they want to prove a point. There's something about that. You might not be playing well, but seeing somebody that you say, oh, no, I want to show this person that, yes, I can do this. That alone gives you the ability to come out and do something incredible. So I'm not going to look at that game. It might go anywhere. Chelsea might have that confidence that, yeah, we've done this before now. We can still do it again. And then they'll say, no, we want to stop these guys from doing it. But to be honest, I think PSG have not been their best after having a fantastic season last season. They had a very fantastic season, and but this season they're not doing that well. Even in Europe, they are not doing that well. So, but with that run of form, so we want to favor Chelsea in a way that, okay, maybe Chelsea can do it over the guys from PSG. But I think all in all, it's going to be a very explosive game.
Okay, fantastic. Another match of fixtures that a lot of people have been talking about is the Real Madrid Man City. What do you think? Do you think that a Pep Guardiola side can take and boot out a side like the Real Madrid side, a side that has one of the most clutch players in the UEFA Champions League, a player like Vinicius Jr.? So it seems like this is going to be fixture for the highest goal scorers, either Vinicius Jr. or Erling Haaland. Who do you think is going to take it all?
Well, Real Madrid on the other hand is very tough. Not so tough because they've had a series of issues in the dressing room. Changing of coach, Arbeloa coming on after Xabi Alonso left, trying its best to steady the ship. And in all of that as well, you will still give kudos to Manchester City, being led by Pep Guardiola, who have also had a share of a very poor run in this season. But it's an evenly poised game. This is a game that many people often look forward to. Personally, I'm looking forward to see what it will look like. The game will be decided in the second leg, not in the first leg,
okay.
Like on some usual games. But I might want to think towards a Real Madrid side, because I know Real Madrid's pattern of play.
Okay, fantastic. Fantastic. It seems like that match is going to be the match of the seconds, because Real Madrid is second on the La Liga table, and also we have Man City side that is second on the EPL side. But let's talk about the first. We are going to be seeing Arsenal playing Leverkusen side. What do you think? Do you think that Arsenal is going to take it? Because I think there's something that we've not seen in a long time. We are seeing an Arsenal side that is being extremely competitive in the UCL, being extremely competitive in various competitions, being in the far line of another, being on top of the table of the EPL. Do you think that this is going to be a compound interest of stress on them, or do you think that they'll be able to play a side like Leverkusen?
Teams have done it now. Teams have won how many trophies the PSG won last season? Team have done it, so I think they can also do it too. But
we are seeing a treble.
Yes, they can do it too. They can. But what I'm looking at, I think Arsenal. My own opinion, though, Arsenal has the best style so far. I think the most easiest game so far. No disregard to Arsenal have one of the best opponent to play so far. So I think it's going to be somehow easy for them to screw past or to screw past Bayern Leverkusen, right?
Yes.
I think it's very, very easy for them to screw. But again, such a tie is sign of dicey. Because when you look at that team, you're like, okay, you underrate them, and when you go there, what they will give to you, it might be something unexpected. But anyway, I think Mikel Arteta just needs to be focused and try to see how he could do this.
I think one thing to take note of is the fact that there's a lot of pressure on Mikel Arteta right now, and a lot of people have been clamoring for something. They've been saying, you know what? We know that you have this. We know that you have players. We also know that you have players that are used to working with a structure. You have a player like Odegaard. You have a lot of other players, but there's one player that seems to that stepped out recently. We have a player like Eze, a player that has scored in their last 2 matches. You know, he has been fantastic, and this is a player that has instincts. He has players that he keeps on the bench sometimes that I feel they just have this natural instinct, and you just have to put them on the pitch when things get tight. And I feel like a player like Eze is that
sometimes
player.
when you attack coaches like that, you might what they are seeing might not be what you are seeing. So for them keeping him there, they have their plan.
You are grinding out results.
No, yeah, I'm just telling you, they might have their plan. What you are seeing might not be what they are seeing, because they are the tactician there. They have their own pattern. They know what they are doing. 1 + 1 for them is 2. 1 + 1 for you might be 3, or 1 + 1 for you might be 2. 1 + 1 for them might be 4. So
Okay.
they know the patterns that they want to.
So still, you know, I think that our last pre-match analysis will be still on the first. When we talk about the first, we talk about the team sitting at the top of the La Liga table. You know, who will be playing Newcastle, the English side, very soon. That's on the 10th of March as well, which is Barcelona playing Newcastle. What do you think? This is a Newcastle side that has been creating an upset back to back.
But I think against Barcelona is going to be very, very tough, because Barcelona is not that of a team that you think you can create chances or ride on. If you score Barcelona 3, they are ready to score you 6. So they have that attacking force. You cannot, like the likes of Rafinha. You know what he can do on his very good day. On a very good day, you have Yamal. You know what he's going to do. So and so on and so forth. We have only a certain Marcus Rashford is there too. So to be honest, I think it's going to be a very Eddie Howe do have a whole lot to do, and they need to see how they. If you want to get any chance, then he must make sure that he keep these guys quiet. Then probably he might have a chance.
Okay, fantastic. You know, it's always fun having and talking about football here, but it seems like it's been an interesting hour of football analysis. Big thanks to Eche Amos, the head of media for the Nasarawa United, and also Oba, a sports journalist from Lagos State and an astute sports and football analyst. Thank you both for your expert takes. You know, that is our show for today. Remember to follow the NPFL action tomorrow and keep your eyes on those UCL fixtures. For more updates, follow us on all our social media handles, on YouTube at Politics and Business TV.English, on Facebook at Politics and Business TV English, on Instagram at PNBTV_English, on X at PNBTV_ENG. I'm Aaron Cotton, and alongside me is my Oga. Please tell them who you are.
I'm Abel Sunday.
And we say thank you for watching, and keep the fire burning here on Balls of Fire.